Good day, everyone, from wherever you're watching this. Um, I'm hoping you're having a good day, a good morning, a good evening, from whichever time zone that you're catching up with me. I just want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking your time to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that when any time I upload a video here, you'll be the first to know. Anyway, this is just a quick message for anyone out there. And I'm being led to tell you that there's a time and space for everything. So you shouldn't despair if you are going through a rough patch, if you're going through a bad time. Everything is cyclical. Seasons come and go. Alternatively, if the times are good, just know that a time is coming when you'd have to go through some tests. So whichever way you are, just know that as long as you're living this life, things always have, as long as you've woken up in the morning, things always will flip whichever direction. So you shouldn't despair, neither you shouldn't get carried away by all the good things happening in your life. Always think about tomorrow. Always. And so I just like to, because I just opened a scriptural book randomly, and the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, which says that everything that happens in this world happens at the time God chooses. He set the time for birth and the time for death, the time for planting and the time for pulling up, the time for killing and the time for healing, the time for tearing down and the time for building. He sets the time for sorrow and the time for joy, the time for mourning and the time for dancing, the time for making love and the time for not making love, the time for kissing and the time for not kissing. He sets the time for finding and the time for losing, the time for saving and the time for throwing away, the time for tearing and the time for mending, the time for silence and the time for talk. He sets the time for love and the time for hate, the time for war and the time for peace. What do we gain from all our work? I know the heavy burdens that God has laid on us. He has set the right time for everything. He has given us a desire to know the future, but never gives us the satisfaction of fully understanding what He does. So I realize that all we can do to be happy and do the best we can while we are still alive, all of us should drink and enjoy what we have worked for it is God's gift. He gives us a desire to know the future. He gives us the desire for the future, but it doesn't make us fully understand. There's a quote that says that life can only be understood backwards, but must be lived forward. So with hindsight, you'll understand, you'll get to know the reason why you are going, what you're going through, or the reasons why things are good the way they are. So hang in there. Use your sixth sense in anything that you do. And until next time,